Pluto, the forgotten world at the edge of our solar system, just revealed something no one expected. New NASA data suggests there may be a hidden ocean beneath its frozen surface, an ocean so toxic, life as we know it couldn't survive. But what if that ocean isn't as dead as we think? What NASA just discovered could change everything we thought we knew about planets and about life beyond Earth. Pluto, once celebrated as the 9th planet of our solar system, was reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006. Many forgot about it after that, but scientists didn't, because far from being a cold, lifeless rock, Pluto turned out to be one of the most mysterious and dynamic places we've ever studied. It lies nearly 6 billion kilometers from the Sun. That's about 40 times farther than Earth, in a region of space so dark and cold that sunlight is barely more than a distant glow. It's small, too. With a radius of just 1,188 kilometers, it's even smaller than our Moon, and its mass? Only 18% of the Moon. But don't let its size fool you, because Pluto has mountains, plains, ice volcanoes, and maybe even a hidden ocean beneath its crust. This tiny frozen world has quickly become a key to understanding the outer solar system, and the more we learn, the more it feels like Pluto is keeping secrets, and it's time we uncover them. For decades, Pluto was just a blurry dot in our telescopes, distant, cold, and unknown. We didn't even have a clear image of its surface. That changed in 2006, when NASA launched one of the boldest space missions in history. New Horizons, a small, piano-sized spacecraft, was sent on a journey across the entire solar system, all to visit this tiny world at the edge of everything. It took almost 10 years to get there. New Horizons traveled over 4.8 billion kilometers before finally reaching Pluto in 2015, and when it did, it completely blew our minds. Instead of a dull, dead rock, New Horizons revealed a surprisingly complex world, towering ice mountains, massive frozen plains, and even hints of geological activity. In just a few hours, it captured over 400 scientific observations and sent back more than 6 gigabytes of data, enough to keep scientists busy for years. But here's the catch. New Horizons didn't stop. It flew past Pluto at over 14 kilometers per second, meaning it only had one chance to see everything in a cosmic drive-by. And yet, in that short window of time, it changed everything we thought we knew about Pluto. At first glance, Pluto looks like a frozen, lifeless ball drifting in the darkness of space. But once New Horizons got closer, scientists began to suspect something shocking beneath all that ice. Pluto might have a heart. A literal one? No. But a beating, moving interior? Possibly. Let's start from the inside out. Scientists believe Pluto has a dense, rocky core surrounded by a thick shell of ice, acting like the planet's bones and flesh. But here is where it gets strange. Between that core and the icy crust, there might be a liquid ocean, buried deep underground. And not just any ocean. One full of ammonia, salt, and chemical compounds that would be deadly to us. A toxic sea, sealed in darkness for billions of years. But how could liquid water exist on a planet so far from the Sun, where temperatures can drop to minus 230 degrees Celsius? The answer may lie in Pluto's core, which could still be warm enough, thanks to the slow decay of radioactive elements, to melt some of its surrounding ice. Think of it like a frozen chocolate with a melted center, hard on the outside, soft on the inside. According to NASA scientist William McKinnon, if Pluto has an ocean, it's been there for a very long time, and it may still be there today. This discovery changes everything. It raises one of the biggest questions in planetary science. If Pluto, a world once considered dead and forgotten, can hide a secret ocean, how many other dead worlds are actually alive inside? As New Horizons approached Pluto, a striking shape appeared. a massive heart-shaped region stretching across its surface. Scientists named it Tombaugh Regio, after the man who discovered Pluto. Its western half, Sputnik Planitia, is a giant plain of frozen nitrogen, incredibly smooth, almost crater-free. That means it's geologically young, maybe only 100 million years old. Beneath its surface, slow-moving convection could be reshaping the ice like a frozen ocean gently bubbling from within. Surrounding Pluto's icy heart are enormous mountain ranges, but these aren't made of rock, they're made of water. Yes, on Pluto, water behaves like stone. At temperatures around minus 230 degrees Celsius, ice becomes so hard it can form mountains. Some peaks, like the Hillary Montes and Tenzing Montes, rise over 3 to 6 kilometers high, rivaling Earth's tallest ranges. These ice mountains are more than geological wonders. They suggest that Pluto's surface isn't ancient and dead, it's been shaped, lifted, and moved by forces deep within. On Earth, volcanoes spit fire and molten rock, but on Pluto, they may erupt ice. In the southern regions of Pluto, scientists have spotted strange formations, giant domes with cracked surfaces surrounded by frozen flows. These could be cryovolcanoes, volcanoes that erupt water, ammonia, and methane instead of lava. One of the most likely candidates is a massive structure over 150 kilometers wide, possibly formed by repeated icy eruptions over millions of years. What's exciting is what this means. If Pluto has cryovolcanic activity, then its interior is still warm, still active, and still changing. As we move along Pluto's equator, something strange appears. A chain of massive dark patches like bruises across the planet's surface. Scientists call them the brass knuckles, and the largest of them, Cthulhu Macula, stretches nearly 3,000 kilometers wide. That's almost the length of the continental US. Their dark color likely comes from Tholin's complex organic molecules formed when sunlight hits methane. Over time, these chemicals stain the surface with a deep, reddish-black tone. But these regions are more than just stains. They're heavily cratered, which means they're ancient leftovers from Pluto's earliest days. At Pluto's northern pole lies a vast, bright region known as Lowell Regio, a place that defies expectations. Unlike the dark maculas, Lowell Regio shines under a soft golden hue. Why? Because Pluto's axial tilt is extreme, over 120 degrees, which means, at times, its north pole points directly at the sun for decades. This constant sunlight may be warming the surface just enough to evaporate nitrogen ice, slowly releasing gas into Pluto's thin atmosphere. In fact, scientists believe Pluto's atmosphere has tripled in density over the past 30 years, all possibly because of what's happening in this sunlit polar region. Lowell Regio isn't just beautiful, it may be driving some of the planet's most mysterious changes. Pluto isn't alone out there in the dark. Orbiting closely beside it is Charon, its largest moon, and together they form one of the most unusual duos in the solar system. Charon isn't just a sidekick. It's so massive, about 11% of Pluto's total mass, that the two bodies don't behave like a typical planet and moon. Instead of Pluto being the center of gravity, they orbit a common point in space, a gravitational balancing act located outside of Pluto's surface. It's like watching two figure skaters spinning around each other on invisible ice, locked in a cosmic dance that has lasted billions of years. And it gets even stranger. Pluto and Charon are tidally locked, which means they always show the same face to each other. If you were standing on Pluto, Charon would hang in the same spot in the sky, never rising, never setting. But what about Charon's surface? Thanks to New Horizons, we now know it's rugged and cracked, with massive canyons and dark patches, unlike anything on Pluto. One of the most fascinating features is Serenity Chasma, a canyon 200 kilometers long and up to 7 kilometers deep. deeper than the Grand Canyon. There's also a mysterious mountain called Kubrick Mons, surrounded by a strange depression. Some scientists think it could be a cryovolcano, hinting that Charon too might have once been geologically active. And near Charon's north pole lies Mordor Macula, a dark reddish region possibly formed by gases escaping from Pluto, getting trapped by Charon's gravity, and transformed by sunlight into complex chemicals. In short, Pluto and Charon don't just orbit each other, they shape each other. A frozen couple in the deep, hiding clues to how binary systems might work throughout the galaxy. While Charon steals much of the spotlight, Pluto actually has 5 known moons, each one small, strange, and full of secrets. In 2005, scientists using the Hubble Space Telescope discovered Nix and Hydra, 2 tiny moons just tens of kilometers wide. Later came Kerberos and Styx, completing Pluto's miniature moon system. What's strange is that all of these moons orbit in nearly perfect circles on the same plane and in near harmony, like a miniature ice solar system of their own. They're also incredibly light and reflective, made mostly of water ice, which hints they were likely formed from the same ancient collision that created Charon fragments from a massive impact that stuck around. But here's the wild part. Because they're so small and light, these moons spin chaotically. Unlike Earth's moon, which always shows us the same face, Pluto's smaller moons tumble unpredictably, like spinning tops wobbling in space. If you were on one of them, the sky would never look the same twice. Scientists also suspect that these moons may hold clues about how binary systems form, not just in our solar system, but in exoplanet systems across the galaxy. And beyond these moons lies the vast, dark mystery of the Kuiper Belt, a frozen region filled with ancient objects. Pluto is just one of its biggest members, but far from the only one. Pluto was once just a dot in the darkness. Then it was a planet. Then it wasn't. For decades, it was forgotten until New Horizons flew by and showed us something extraordinary, that even the smallest, most distant worlds can be full of wonder. What we discovered was far more than anyone expected. Towering mountains of water ice, smooth plains of frozen nitrogen, possible ice volcanoes, a heart-shaped region that may have been shaped by an ocean hidden beneath its crust, a moon so massive it dances with Pluto in perfect balance, and a system of tiny moons spinning like wild clocks. And yet, we've only scratched the surface. We've only seen one side of Pluto, literally. New Horizons didn't orbit, it passed by, which means there's an entire face of this world that remains completely unexplored. Right now, Pluto is drifting farther and farther away. New Horizons is long gone, racing into the void. No future mission is currently planned. But what we saw there changed how we think about planets, about moons, about the limits of geological activity, and maybe even about the conditions for life itself. Because if Pluto, tiny, cold, and buried in darkness, can be this active, what else might be out there? What other secrets lie waiting in the deep shadows of the solar system? The further we look, the more we realize the universe is not empty. It's just full of stories we haven't heard yet. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and join us for the next cosmic adventure. If you enjoyed this video about Pluto's hidden wonders, you're definitely going to like this other video that will leave you speechless and breathless. Literally. Don't miss it.